Hey y'all, Lucilla. Hope everybody's happy, and we should be here today, in Australia at least anyway, because it's the 25th of the 5th, and all our kids, most of them have gone back to school, so hooray. But anyway, but somebody you're happy with, you're safe with, which is really, really important, okay, because, you know, safety, and that is a really big thing here. And you'd like to feel that you're safe with your loved ones, and being with your loved ones, that you are safe with them, and whoever else that you share your time with, and I hope you're safe with. Health, well, that's another thing, isn't it? I hope everybody's well in health, but with this, you know, as I say, this corona is still around, will be around, don't know when it's going, but anyway, I hope you haven't caught it and that sort of thing. And if you've got a cough, cold, runny nose, you know, you guys aren't silly, you know what to do. But anyway, that's for the UK and States as well, or anybody else that's watching out there. That little message from me to you guys. But anyway, look, it's really, really good here in Oz, like I said, that we've got our kids and they've gone back to school, and parents are ecstatic, isn't it? You know, we are here in Oz, so, and I really hope in the UK it gets back to normal soon, and the States and wherever else you are, and you're experiencing the same problem with your children and their education. Okay, so that's a topic I'm going to talk about a little bit, is about children's basic education and what they seem to know, and what now here in Australia anyway, that they're finding out since, you know, the lapse of, you know, I think it was 10 weeks that the kids were off school without face-to-face learning, that they've realised that there's a big gap in the learning, and a lot of kids, basically, I suppose, no offence, it was a really hard job, basically, to retain their attention, like face-to-face learning. It wouldn't have been there at home, and parents would have found that really hard to cope with, so, and children as well, so that's a bit of a breakdown there. But that's another topic. But anyway, what I want to say is that, you know, with kids going back here in Oz, we tend to forget that, you know, we had 10 weeks of lockdown with our kids, and learning the basics and realising how hard of a job it was, okay, and it is, to fulfil your children's education. And so we now, I don't think any person here in Australia, parents anyway, would take it now for granted what teachers are and how important they are and their job, because within that 10-week lockdown, that parents, including myself, found it so hard trying to fulfill that gap, as you wouldn't have to if the teacher was there. But anyway, so that's a learning curve. So we are lucky, back on board, appreciate the teachers more, and I think we do. I think we really realise the value of teachers, not only here in Australia, but all over the world. Their value that we need to value, because without that, we realise that our whole life changes. We have to change everything, and that's hard to do. Basically, when you know, you take it for granted that kids go to school, you go 9 to 5 job, whatever the case may be, you have your freedom, the kids are out, you're doing your bit. But once you realise that's all been taken away, it's not, it hasn't been, it didn't go away, it's been taken away from you. So when you realise that, and you know that you've got no other choice but to try and commit to that, it's so hard. It's so hard. And you have to, as I said, change everything in your life to try and fit into that. And it's really, really hard. So that's a really, you know, hooray for the parents coping with that, because that was a big coping mechanism to see, you know, pushed to the limits. I'm sure it did with every woman and father and parent here, whether it be here in Oz or over the UK or the States. But anyway, another topic. Okay, I'm going to keep it short, but it was really concerning, you know, like the government was saying that they've realised now there's a learning gap since the 10-week lockdown here in Oz. They realised that the learning wasn't there, retaining their attention for an individual classroom, it wasn't there because it was all over the computer. And whether you've got the money to run the internet or you don't, whatever the case may be, that's not the case. What it was the deterioration or breakdown, and they've realised that, they see that, so they've got a lot of mending there to do. But I'm going to roast the pot here because I think it's pathetic. The government's only realised this. Did they not realise this, you know, years ago? Really, seriously. I mean, what I mean by that, guys, is that, do you know how many children, and I mean, basically, unless they're tutored, unless they're really, sustained with support in every possible way, a lot of children don't know the basics. I mean, a lot of children, and correct me if I'm wrong in a comment, don't know how to count from 1 to 10. They don't know the ABC properly. And if they are taught the ABC, they're sung it. How ridiculous. And children get mixed up. And I, as a parent, when my children were little and went to preschool, I was astonished to think that LMNOP, I mean, what is that? I mean, LMOP, what was that? I mean, I don't know. But so I had to go back to the bare basics with my children and sit down and teach them the letters of the alphabet, not sing it to them. But anyway, how many kids really know the alphabet? There's not many. And as I said, it's only the lucky ones that do. And I'm not criticising, I'm just saying what I've seen as a parent and what I still see now. So that's sad within itself. And also, you know, like, how many children basically know how to tell the time? Time. Like, there's not many, unless they have a digital one on their wrist. The old way, like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, they wouldn't know. I mean, that was another thing I had to teach my children, is the bare basics of how to read the old time. No digital stuff on their wrists, mate. I mean, what is that? 11:45. What is that? I mean, what's 11.5? It's 5 minutes past 11 or something like that. They wouldn't know. So, I mean, that's really ridiculous. So, basically, I had to go back and teach my children the old-fashioned way of telling the time. And the way I did that, basically, was teach them, the 5 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It all goes on. I mean, so how many children know the bare basics? I mean, seriously. And how many children know, without a calculator, how to count and add up on their hands? Not many. So that's a shame within itself. And the government should actually look at the basic things the children know. And they're not doing that. They got, their little things that they're teaching them with technology, but not the basics. Not how to... They wouldn't even know how to write a letter, most children, or how to start, or how to end. It's all done on computer. So they could basically frame the education back to the way it was, basically. And if they did, a random, asking people what they thought and how it should be, I think they would find it very surprising, because a lot of people would say the framework has got to be based on from the late 50s, early 60s, I mean, if you look at it, was very good structure. And as a person, I know how to read, write and spell, tell the time, do all the things, basic. I'm no, rocket scientist, but the thing is, I was able to teach my children, which I think I was at advantage for that, to be taught the old way, to know the old way and the new way, but combine that. And I think the government's really got to come on board combining the two. Because if they don't, the children basically won't know the basics. And with that, they won't learn. So combine it, the old with the new. But anyway, that's my little, roast for the pot, bitch for the day, call it what you want. Okay, but anyway, I do hope that, with the UK and America, and as I said, all over the world, that you are, trying to get back to normal. And the countries that are suffering, look, my prayers go out to you guys, and I only hope that the leaders of the world, I could say get their act together, but, really realise and have a conscience what's happening in their own backyard, their own country, their own nation, call it what you want. But I hope that you are blessed with blessings in the future to come. But anyway, I hope you guys here in Oz enjoyed my, little event for the day, because I thought, hooray, I've got to say something. I'm so excited. My girl's a big girl, so I don't have any wee ones floating around home, but I bet it was excitement plus this morning and last night, preparing for school lunches and all that sort of thing, and uniforms and how they're going to do their hair and, what books, and it would have been splendid. But anyway, and as I said, I hope, the schools have come on board with their hygiene and that sort of thing with the students, most important, and educating the kids. Every day they get in that classroom, the teachers say, right, we're going to have a COVID-5, COVID-5 or a COVID-19 minute, and talk about COVID and what we're going to do and how it's going to prick your conscience and why you're going to wash your hands for the day and what else are you going to do to protect yourself for the day. So I think the school should come on board with that. But anyway, so look after yourself, like, subscribe and comment. Until next time, see y'all. Bye from Lucilla Lee.